450 people were killed. So it doesn't play it while it's connected, I see. NPR News. A ceasefire. Anyway. $307 miles. Trip A. Trip B. So I already drove 13 miles. It's about 320 for a full tank. Now, before last week, when I filled it up, the most it would get to is about 266. The reason, and I'm going to the same place to work. When I go to Philly to work, I would take Broad Street all the way down. Doesn't really matter what time. I mean, if you go earlier, you stop less. I suppose the stoplights. Going this way, there's more open roads with less streetlights. And then getting to I-95, anytime past, so it's 6 o'clock now, I have 23 minutes to get there, so I should get there at 6:30. If I leave any time later, say in another half hour, this route wouldn't be so well because 95 would be jam-packed and you'd be crawling trying to get to Philly. So I could leave earlier, a little bit earlier, but getting up at 5 instead of 5:30, and it'll be even smoother. But yeah, maybe tomorrow I can get there. Tired of things rolling around. So that's why I get better gas mileage, because when I wake up earlier, so here's the benefits of waking up earlier and not doing videos all night long and getting actual sleep. The benefits of not making YouTube a priority anymore is the fact that my mindset changes from, I gotta hurry up and get home, I gotta hurry up and get home, I gotta put all this together, all these timestamps, all this stuff, all this Jonathan Kleck information, and sort of Bono and U2 the two of you. You two and you two. And then going home, and then I need at least 2 to 3 good solid hours to put this stuff together. So this is going on day and night, day and night. It's like I wasn't giving anybody any rest themselves. Day and night, day and night, day and night, night and day. No rest. Then when I finally say enough, you know, it's only on my end. It's there's no force in any direction to make me do anything. No matter who Satan is in this world, no matter how many times Jonathan Kleck points to himself, or even Steve Bannon, does it really matter who Satan is? Like the one that is like who Satan is? Even Moses acted like he put that headdress on, right? As a pharaoh. So even he was, and they wanted to kill him for doing that, because the way I interpret it is he was trying to be a pharaoh, Moses, or pass himself off as one. And then I see that same character on YouTube, whichever one it is. Red front face truck. Getting sleep is the key, and then getting up early is the key. I mean, it's always been the key, obviously. That's with everybody. If you get enough sleep, you have enough energy. You have more energy in the day. If you wake up earlier, if you have an hour drive to work, normally, if you wake up earlier, it's 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And in this way here, this is mostly highway. So I'm getting 14.45 miles per gallon. That was the average that I got on the last trip. And it was about 320 miles, maybe 330 if I would have tested it all the way to fill the gas tank up today once I get to work. But I did it earlier. I mean, I did it last night. Save some time this morning. But normally before that, it was about 266 miles going the other direction down Broad Street, leaving at 7:30, catching every red light because there's so many cars on the street. This way here, as you can see so far, with the P there, see the Philly? I-95 coming up there's no red. There's no red, and normally there would be. However, if I left a half hour earlier, I wouldn't even have any of this little bit of traffic right here. But there's no red in the lane holding it up. So there's the benefits of it. Waking up early, not staying up all night, doing stuff freely of charge. And I don't know, I mean, when does it ever pay off? Will it ever pay off? It always seems like when I hear we're almost there, when I hear we're at the precipice, when I hear it's at the door, when I hear all that now, I don't think anything other than, right, gotcha. That's what I think. But I don't know, some changes are happening this year. I'm getting ready to turn 47 years old, June 28th. Bono and Ali have been together for pretty much since I was born. She said 46 years. That was in November last year. I was still 46 years old last year. November of last year, I was 46 years old still. And then my son's moving out July 1st, so that's 2 days after my birthday. Jonathan Clark said he received this letter in the mail, which I know he was more referring to what was going on in my life, because that's just the way it seems to be, what's going on in my life. I don't even know why even started that way. But now that I see that it is that way, I keep talking about it and showing you what I believe to be relevant to my life. Where he's completely, all responsibility of everything is taken away, or however that letter was about his children. So it's like the same thing. I got custody of my son Christian when he was 7 years old, and it was full custody too. And it was a full custody. It was a 3-year restraining order against his mother that protected me and him from her harassment. 3 years. That's how bad it was. And that was only 3 years, not even 3 years after I got out of jail, with all those felonies and a rap sheet that I can't afford to commit any more crimes. And I had to get him away from her because she was just dragging him around, down the way, the heroin capital of the world. I finally got custody of it at 7. Me and my wife, we've always lived together with kids, either her kid or Christian, for the first 6 months. And then after 6 months, when I got full custody of Christian, we moved into a 2-bedroom or a 2-bedroom twin instead of an apartment. And so coming up, now that Trevor's not in the house for past couple years, Christian's moving out. This big old house that I don't need, but I rented it out in order to, because it was the only house in that neighborhood with the best school district, the top rated number 3rd school district in the United States. In Pennsylvania alone, there's only 2 other schools that were rated better than CB South, East, and West, and there was 2 private schools in Philly, number 1. I haven't looked up the ratings in a while, but that's why I moved to Bucks County, in that area, in order to put my stepson and my son Christian, according to the birth certificate and the origin of how she got pregnant right after I kicked her out for good, because I was done. And I've been with her for probably 5 years beforehand, never got her pregnant that I'm aware of. But hey, shit happens, huh? What perfect timing, right, Jonathan Kleck? So you have been awarded some kind of all responsibility is finished, you did your job type thing, and that's exactly what I did. So 47 years old, 46, then 47. Is this the year that me and my wife finally have it's just me and her in the house? And then there's no more complaining about what, Christian this, Christian that, and he's a slob, and he purposely cooks dinner right after she cleans the house, or leaves toilet paper poop in the toilet as a grown man, and just always seems to forget to do that right after she cleans it. It's like a dog leaving its mark on a territory. Is that finally going to come to an end, or is it just because Christian's moving right around the corner? It's not like he's going far. And I know all about the organization, how it ain't like things are just gonna disappear. Anyway, it still says I'm going to get there on my birthday. I'm going to get there on my birthday, 6/28. That way, because now, here's what happened yesterday. I put 10 hours in, and I got there at 6:40. I had a lunch. I subtracted the 20 minutes. $2:40 came around. I was already there for 8 hours. I'm used to being there until around 4 or 5 because I've been getting up later. And then by 4 o'clock, I'm almost putting in my 8 hours normally. But now 4 o'clock comes around and I'm already at 10 hours. So it's just a different... I'm trying everything I can to tolerate this life on earth as it is right now. Because as it is in heaven, the hell it ain't on earth. Not even close. So that prayer ain't working. I don't know, it should, right? Thou art Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come as it is in heaven, so shall it be on earth. When? In the meantime, let's go to work and try to, make as much money as I can while it's there to pay off as much as my debts that I owe, because it's all about my debts. It's all about debts being paid off. I heard Bono saying about the 50th or 49th year of Jubilee, and all debts are forgiven. And I think Jacob Israel already went through that. I think that's why at the age of 50, when he was talking about the Jubilee, because I believe there's a few different people playing Jesus Christ, and I believe Jacob is one of them. But he's playing it. I think he was playing it as the 46-year-old of like 4 or 5 years back. I think so. And then all his debts being forgiven, and then that's how you can basically just work from home. But I don't really believe any of you are actually on planet Earth. I mean, maybe Jonathan Kleck is the one that's down, the angel of the bottomless pit, because it could be a couple different people, but and it could be the same. I get all of it confused because everybody's hiding behind a mask, and what do you expect? I even heard Steve Manoon on the one video saying, "Excuse my voice," and I'm thinking, that sounded just... Remember the other day I was talking about Jonathan Kleck and his voice? It's not the first time I thought, I wonder if Steve Manoon is actually one of the other Jonathan Klecks on that channel. Like at one point, one of the 3 of the frogs, because there's the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. And Jacob Israel sure is playing a very good beast role because of the system itself, the beast system. That's why sometimes it's hard to watch you, Jacob, because I know you know what you're saying you don't. And I don't know why, but there's something, it's just, I think even, there's something, I guess it's the tone, because Steve Manoon does the same thing, and it's like kind of funny when he does it, because it's like, I don't know that answer at all. And I know it's a lie, but it doesn't irritate my spirit knowing that you're lying, because you do definitely know the answer completely, because you have all the answers. You all have the answers. I don't have the answers. That's why I talk to you all the time. And I know it's opening up a demonic portal of entities coming through, and just by the X app alone and recording stuff that is being shown back from the future itself, literally. There's no other way around it. How can you, just ask Matthew, why are you trying to find out about the living from the dead? Why don't you go ask your God, Robin? Check these witches' words against the word of God. It's Gematria somehow, Robin. That's why you're getting so much resistance, Robin. If their messages are different than mine, it's because I have not sent them. That's why you're getting so much resistance, Robin. Because my boss did not send you. He sent me. But did you know, Matthew, 5 years later, did you already know through knowing the future what I was going to do? Or is this all a surprise? Is anything even a surprise to anybody? Or is it just a surprise to me? And I'm the last one to wake up to this surprise. Does even my wife know all about it? And I try to show her, like, honey, look at this similarity. Look what they did here. Look what happened here. The art museum. Look at how exact this is. Look at when you turned the book. I will be with you again. Look at how they did that. Does that mean I'm dying soon? And in heaven, when I finally get free from this flesh bag, because that's why Steve Manoon is talking more about the voices that you hear in your head. I think it's pertaining to the Gangstalk Corporation, where just know that you're free. You're free. You have to know you're free in order to stop doing the things that makes you sin with your sinful nature. Even though Christ was in the flesh, he had no sin in him. The abomination of desolation standing inside of the holy place, the temple, meaning the body, the legs, the dead sheep. Jonathan Fletcher's showing it to you today. The invertation of it, the Bono-vertation. And Ali, isn't that funny? Ali, Ali, why have you forsaken me? And Ali is Bono's wife. And she said, it feels like we've known each other for 100 years. You mean like 100 years? Years of Sarah and Abraham not having a child? But really 46. And so that's coming up. The invertation. Is it something that's true? Well, yeah, it's true. I love diesel smell. It just fills my truck with the aroma of lovely diesel. But is it the correct interpretation of what it means to be filled with the Holy Spirit? Of course not. It's not. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with your tree of life. It has nothing to do with hiding it, inverting it, transforming it, getting rid of the male energy in the system. There's a reason for it. I believe it's population control. And the ones that did that, I don't believe that you're supposed to have children anymore. That's the whole purpose of that one. But or if you do, it's not like regular children, if there is such a thing. It's the reptilian children, the alien breed. And so that's what Satan wanted to have, is just his own children. And I think that's what it is here. And I'm pretty sure I might have been dropped off like a stork drops a baby off at a hospital, that's could have been swapped at birth. Maybe the child who my mom had was taken up instead of me. Maybe she doesn't even have a clue, or maybe everybody has a clue, and I'm the last one to find out. And that's why when I show my wife these things, it's like, whether the face is like, oh boy, here we go again, or whether the face is like, yeah, I know, Robin. God, will you stop showing me this? How do you even know? It could be one or the other. I would like to believe that it's the other, that she doesn't have a clue, and it's my job to prove to her the clue that she doesn't have. That way, when we will be together again, it'll be in a different, like a different realm, a different time. It'll be at a time where she is finally living life free of the demons, the attacks, even if she's part of the organization, free from having to listen to the thoughts in her head, because it's not actual communication through the ear piece, but it's literally thoughts. And so that I think that's why Steve Manoon is talking about thoughts so much, because what it's doing is, whether the organization is controlling people through an earpiece or not, or it's just thoughts in their head, and they don't even know why the thoughts are there, they just think it's themselves. They truly don't have anybody telling them what to do, but they are completely mind controlled, being told what to do, without them even knowing it's an organizational program telling them to be here, do that, go over there, go here. How do you know to be there so precisely? Because something's communicating with you to do that. It happens to me all day long, at work, mainly when I'm around people. It's just the way it is. It happens. It's shown. My son has shown me plenty of movements. My wife has been, I've seen some suspect moves, but what do? You love your enemies, regardless, until they finally submit. They can only submit when they know that they're free. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's mainly what it's about. I got thoughts in my head too, but my thoughts tell me to, here, if someone's walking by, move that out of the way so they can walk by and not get hampered with. And the thoughts and spirits of the exact opposite people could be, literally put this in his way so he can step over it. Now, was that communicated to you through an organization, or that's just your spirit? It could just be the spirit. So at some point, I believe that my wife is going to know the truth. She's going to be able to speak the truth without anything hindering her. And me and her life can be a lot more at peace than it was. But that's only if and when Satan has been transformed into an angel of light. So it looks like I'll get 330, 303. There you go. Code 303, 304. I'll get 333 miles per gallon if I keep waking up early and driving to work like this. And almost 15 miles per gallon, opposed to 10 miles a gallon it was just recently. So angel, Satan, anything that makes manifest is light, right? Christ, so you just say, well, Can't be Satan, it's Christ. Well, Satan transformed himself into an angel of light, pretending to be an angel of light. But the only main question is, does he truly transform himself into an angel of light? And instead of trying to, because what's happening here is Satan's minions are trying to steal the next 1,000 years of Christ reigning on earth. That's why he's trying to put a fraud in as Christ. So many false Christs and prophets will arise, and many of them are going to lead many people astray. And I believe Bono is acting as that Christ in the top mainstream music artist, because, and that one guy that was interviewing him he's like, could you look up the AC/DC lyrics? And the guy's like, huh? And the things we'll do for Jesus, meaning Bono. But Bono, in his song, he gives it away. One man comes on a barbed wire fence, which I refer to as him, like the Petco 2 barbed wire fence. The other man, he resists. So that's Christ. That's the true Christ nature. Resisting. And then when Click says, if someone sold their soul for a record deal, he could be talking about himself, because I know how you guys talk about yourself in the third person. But there's no question you're talking about Bono. And then who's Bono? Maybe that's today's Click that just did the video about the invertation. I feel like it is, because he has that different, you just have that, you can just tell you have that different mentality than the other ones, the other personalities. But I don't truly know, but I will speculate. And Bono is definitely someone who betrayed Jesus, as if he was Judas himself, for a record deal, a recorded deal, an X-recorded deal. It's like an X record deal, X-recorded, from the past being shown into the future. And he was washed up on an empty beach, empty shore, because I believe it was his own island that he was washed up on, like Jonah. Because it's like Jonah. In his songs, back to back as he's singing it, one man's washed up on an empty beach, one man's betrayed by a kiss. So it just seems like the person, what he's saying is the person that was washed up on an empty beach was the one who betrayed Jesus with the kiss. But that was Judas. But the one man washed up on an empty beach, isn't that Jonah? Jonah, Judas, Jonah, is it the same thing? I don't know, but it sounds good. What's beyond that door? Is that door going to open up? Or is it going to always stay shut?